What is up? What is up, awesome people of the internet? What is up? Okay, guys, sometimes it's good to return back to your roots. And that is exactly what Tina Charles has done. Tina Charles, the player who was drafted to the Connecticut Sun in 2010, is returning back to where it all started, as she has agreed to sign with the beleaguered Connecticut Sun for 2025. Now, Connecticut does not really have anybody on their team as of right now, but they do have Tina Charles, who was, again, the number one pick in 2010. And, she is an MVP winner. She is someone who has been all around the league. She's been on Connecticut. She spent time with the New York Liberty. She was on the Washington Mystics, the Phoenix Mercury, the Seattle Storm, last year with the Atlanta Dream, and now it all comes back to where it all started from, as Tina Charles has decided to come back to Connecticut. Now, guys, this kind of was a surprise to me. The reason why is because Tina Charles, yes, she is an older player, right? She's 36 years old. However, she still has some gas in her tank, right? And after last season with the Atlanta Dream, I thought that we were going to see Tina Charles go and pair up with a contender. I thought we were going to see her try to, find her way to either like a Las Vegas Aces, Seattle Storm, maybe even the New York Liberty, taking a significant pay cut, getting on like the vet minimum or something like that. But she's like, you know what? Nah, let me go on back to where it started. And also, I do believe that they probably gave her a hefty salary to return back to Connecticut. Now this is a young, spry version of Tina Charles. This was a long time ago, back when Adidas was sponsoring the WNBA jersey. Do y'all remember that? Anybody a OG WNBA fan that remembers when when Adidas was sponsoring the WNBA jerseys? And you remember the old WNBA logo? I used to really like this WNBA logo. I like the new version as well, but like this old version, there was something about it that just hit. There was something about that old version of the WNBA logo that just hit. And that's how long Tina Charles has been in the league, again, since 2010. And we are now in 2025. It's a long time. And she is someone who's played a whole bunch of games. She's played 430 games. 430. That's a lot of games. A whole lot of games. She started in 353 games. It's quite a bit. And during her long tenure with the WNBA, she's averaged 17.9 points in her entire career, right? So is she as dominant as she was at one point? No. Like her most dominant year was when she was with the Washington Mystics, right? That 1 year that she spent with the Mystics. And that was Tina Charles kind of at her peak. And of course she's not as dominant as she used to be, but also she still is a player that's going to get her points, right? She's going to get close to a double just about every single night she's playing. And so, hey man, I think it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool that she is returning to her roots, though I am a little surprised about the decision to go to Connecticut. Now, guys, let's get into the press release that Connecticut put out, because of course they are very much happy that their star came back to be with this team. Actually, let's see what y'all have to say in the chat real quick before we go there. John says, I really love Tina Charles. I used to love going to Liberty games at Madison Square Garden. Oh yeah, that's when, yeah. Because Liberty did used to play at Madison Square Garden. To watch her play, her dad would always be seated near the team, dressed to the nines. Oh, I didn't know that. He'd ride the A train to and from the games. I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. See, don't y'all just love the random knowledge that people just be sharing in the chat? I'm just saying. Tom says Tina can still get starter minutes in Connecticut. Absolutely. Yeah. Uh, Amelia says, yeah, I caught the live this time. Shout out to you, Amelia. Thanks so much for hopping on. Lindy says, so now it's Tina, Mabry, and Cloud. Yeah, also Lindsay Allen as well. They have the rights to Nikolina Milic as well. But yeah, not much for for the Connecticut Sun. Not much. The Oregon Jazzman says, I think Tina Charles carries the Sun to the playoffs this upcoming season. You think so? I don't think Connecticut has a roster to make it to the playoffs. But, Connecticut has surprised us in the past. They have surprised us in the past, and who knows? Who knows what actually might happen? Oh, Shelter says, okay, Shelter remembers when Adidas was sponsoring the WNBA. Okay, Edward does as well. Linda says, great veteran player. Yep. Chicago needs more star power. Yeah, I mean, probably won't come for a while, but yeah, that's that. Yeah. Con Landing, love your random facts, says Tina Charles was traded from the Sun to the Liberty in 2014 for the draft pick that turned out to be Alyssa Thomas. It comes in full circles. That's pretty cool to know. That is pretty cool to know. Now, guys, let's get to the press release that the Connecticut Sun put out. Hopefully, y'all can see this. It says WNBA's all-time rebounding leader and league legend Tina Charles signs with the Connecticut Sun. It's back to where it all started, baby. All right. Today, the Connecticut Sun announced that the organization has signed Tina Charles to a 1-year deal. Per team policy, no details were released, though. Give it a couple days, we will see it on her hoop stats how much exactly Tina Charles is getting paid. I imagine it's a bag. I imagine it's a significant bag for her to go to Connecticut. Here is what Morgan Tuck, the GM of the Sun, said. She said, today marks an incredible moment in our team's history as we welcome back one of the greatest players to ever grace the WNBA. And that's facts on facts, okay? Tina not only helped define the success of this franchise during her early years, but she also set the bar for excellence both on and off the court. Her passion, leadership, and dedication to the game have left an incredible mark in our league. And we couldn't be more excited to have her return to the team where it all began. This is a full circle moment that strengthens our foundation and inspires the next generation of players and fans alike. We are extremely excited for this next chapter of Connecticut Sun history with Tina back in a Sun uniform. Now, that's a whole lot of fluff that, Morgan Tuck had to say, right? A whole lot of fluff. This next chapter of Connecticut Sun basketball, which at this point is not looking like it's going to be a next great chapter for the Connecticut Sun, especially considering how good they were just over the last several years, right? So yeah, she has to make it sound really good. Yes, Tina Charles is a really good player, but the idea that this Connecticut Sun team is really going anywhere, it's just not happening. All right, let's continue on. It says, Charles returns to Connecticut after playing the 2024 season with the Atlanta Dream. We already talked about that. The 6'4" veteran center appeared and started in 39 regular season contests for the Dream, averaging 14.9 points a game and 9.6 rebounds a game as well. Good for 4th in the WNBA. It was a historic year for Tina Charles as she moved into 1st all-time for rebounds and 2nd all-time for scoring in league history. Again, she's been in the WNBA for a long time. And if you're curious about who number 1 is in scoring, surprise, surprise, it is Diana Taurasi. Okay? Let's continue on. She finished in double-figure scoring in 34 of the Dream's regular season contests and tallied 21 double-doubles, 3rd most in the WNBA in 2024, and a new franchise single-season record for the Dream. Tina Charles also set a new Dream franchise for record rebounds in a single season. I mean, wherever she goes, she's just kind of making records left and right, doing her thing. All right, originally drafted with the number 1 pick overall by the Sun in 2010, and Charles has achieved an impressive resume of accolades throughout her 13-year professional career, with additional stops in, we already talked about this, but New York, Washington, Phoenix, Seattle. She has been named WNBA MVP in 2012, WNBA Rookie of the Year, All WNBA First Team several times, All WNBA Second Team several times as well. So 4 and 4 for both of those. WNBA Defensive First Team, WNBA All Defensive Second Team, and WNBA All-Star. Tina Charles has also led the WNBA in rebounds 4 times and scoring 2 times in her career. She's been around for a long time and has competed at the highest level for a long, long time. Outside of her WNBA success, Tina Charles has excelled professionally overseas in many countries, including Turkey, Poland, and China. She currently is playing for a Turkish club, Fenerbahce, the best European team in the world, or the best European team in Europe. Actually, really the best overseas team, period. Like, I put Fenerbahce over anybody. Like, they're really, 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 really good. Like, really, really good. They have an extremely, extremely stacked team. Like, telling y'all. Emma Misama, the person that that everybody keep talking about, coming back to the WNBA, she plays for Fenerbahce. Like, Fenerbahce is really, really good. Anyway, we'll kind of skip over some of this stuff. But a thing to note is, guys, where is Tina Charles from? Yukon. When it comes to the WNBA, when it comes to the record books, one thing you will see quite often is UConn is the origin college for a lot of these records. When we talk about records in the WNBA, if it's points, if it's rebounds, if it's assists, if it's doubles, whatever it is, for the most part, when you look at the top 5 names on that list, there's a whole bunch of University of Connecticut schools. Like, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. UConn has really been the gift that keeps on giving to women's basketball, man. Like, it is the gift that keeps on giving. And so, yeah, she did play at UConn, won 2 national championships for Gina Auriemma. And she has currently still has the program record for rebounds at UConn. She was the National Player of the Year, the AP Player of the Year, the Big East Player of the Year, first team All-American. She kind of did a little bit of everything. And so, yeah, that is Tina Charles. And if y'all are curious to see all of the stuff that Tina Charles is in the record books for, look at this. Look at it. This is just in Connecticut Sun history. And this is just for, I believe, 4 seasons of Tina Charles being with the Connecticut Sun. She really has let her mark on the Sun. And then in the WNBA, first in rebounds, first in defensive rebounds, first in double-doubles, second in scoring, second in field goals made, third in offensive rebounds, and 13th in blocks. All right, so that is the news about Tina Charles. That is the breaking news. Tina Charles is heading back to where it all started from as she returns back to the Connecticut Sun. Now, Connecticut don't have that much going for them, but at least for some OG fans, they can be excited about the fact that their star has returned in Tina Charles. All right, let's get to y'all comments. Thank y'all so much for leaving comments. Scott says, beleaguered, LOL. I mean, they are, right? They are. Thank you so much, Vic, for the super chat. Really do appreciate your support of this channel. Thank you. Mitch. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really do appreciate your support. Says, Quita, I have learned so much from you this last year. Thanks. Just watched your Iowa video. Sorry, off topic. I know you like the sky. What is your NCAA team? So actually, I don't have one. So again, thank you so much, Mitch, for the super chat. Thank you for watching that Caitlin Clark video. If y'all haven't seen it, yesterday I put out a video about Caitlin Clark, about her getting her jersey retired. It's sort of like a documentary style. Try my best. Has added some music, added some clips, all that good stuff. And then earlier today, I watched the USC versus Iowa game where Iowa took down USC in a stunning game that I didn't anticipate at all. And they shout out to Iowa, man. They did the thing. But to answer your question, I don't have a favorite NCAA team. I don't. The only team that I actually care about if they win or lose is the Chicago Sky. It is the Chicago Sky. One second, guys. All right. So yeah, man. That is the news. There's also some other news I want to get to as well. We saw Michaela Onyenwere re-sign with the Chicago Sky. That is something to note. Again, I'm a Sky fan, so of course I got to tell y'all that as well. We also just saw some other moves as well. That have happened recently. Shout out to there's a channel on not a channel. Here, that's me being old school. There is a account on Twitter that's been really good at sort of just putting the news of like what's going on, and I wanna get into it. It's Underdog WNBA who's been dropping the dimes of what's happening. We also saw news earlier that Grace Berger was waived from the Indiana Fever, and there's some people who are like, okay, what's happening? What they got rid of her. What's happening? Is Victoria Saxton still on the team? Is people like saying, hey, why did they get rid of Grace Berger and Erica Wheeler still there? Let me clear stuff up. Guys, Victoria Saxton is still on the roster for the Indiana Fever. We'll ultimately see what happens. I would not be surprised at all if we see news in the coming days and weeks saying that Victoria Saxton was waived by the Indiana Fever. I don't anticipate her being on the roster to start the season. But yeah, that's something to note. Also, guys, in terms of Erica Wheeler, Erica Wheeler is a free agent, okay? She is a free agent that can do anything she wants. Do I anticipate the Indiana Fever signing her? If they do, they're going to sign her for the vet minimum. I don't anticipate them signing her for any type of deal that was similar to what she had last year. Like last year, she was getting paid quite a bit of money. I don't anticipate that happening for this upcoming season, for Erica Wheeler. So right now, she does not have a team. But ultimately, we'll see if that changes as time goes on. I do want to share with you all a tracker of where people are as of this exact moment. So this is a courtesy of CBS Sports, so shout out to them. So Kelsey Mitchell, she was cored by the Indiana Fever. She's returning to the Indiana Fever. Kelsey Plum was cored by the Las Vegas Sparks, by the Las Vegas Aces, and she is now on the LA Sparks. Satu Sabli was cored by the Dallas Wings. Now she is on the Phoenix Mercury, and she is joined by her new teammate, Alyssa Thomas, who is also with the Phoenix Mercury, courtesy of a trade from the Connecticut Sun. Two dominoes are yet to drop. We have Brianna Stewart and Gabby Williams. I think it's extremely likely that both of these players return to their teams next year. So I don't anticipate there being a trade for Brianna Stewart. I don't anticipate there being a trade for Gabby Williams. I think both of them will return to their teams. It's just that they haven't as of yet. Thank you so much, Maud, for the super chat. Really do appreciate your support of the channel. All right. Jermone says, Quita, I assume you were a South Carolina fan. Tell that to South Carolina fans. There are people. So here's the thing. I say what I see. But there are people who every time if I make a video that's saying, hey, either South Carolina got or South Carolina had a bad game or like whatever. There are people who will comment and be like, you only like to talk negative about South Carolina. You hate South Carolina and blah, 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 blah. No, I am not someone who roots for South Carolina. I'm a fan of all of women's basketball. So, sure, I enjoy watching South Carolina. I enjoy watching a whole bunch of teams. But no, I don't actually cheer on anybody because I don't totally care ultimately who wins. Here's the thing. I only care about I want the Chicago Sky to win. That's about it. Other than that, I want to be entertained. I enjoy storylines. I enjoy the best teams getting got, right? So for example, USC losing early today, like, dog, that was fire. That was so fire because I was like, heck yeah, let's go Iowa. Because Southern California, they were a team that was easily assumed to be the winner, right? I expected it. I expected them to dominate. They didn't. And the fact that they didn't and the fact that Iowa stepped up and put on a show, it's fire, man. It's absolutely fire. I love to see that. That's what I want to see. I want to see teams getting got. So next time y'all hear me celebrating and talking about your team getting got, don't be like, Quita hates my team. Quita hates this and blah, 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 blah. No, I don't. Okay? I am cool with everybody losing. I am. And if it's an upset, I prefer it even more. But guys, earlier today, we did see a team get got. Shout out to the Fighting Illini who took down Maryland. Guys, that was a back and forth game where Illinois just eked out a victory. Y'all, that was fire. That was fire. Shout out to the Fighting Illini. They're an unranked team. They are a really good team. But they just took down the Terrapins. Let's go. The Big Ten is nothing to play with. I know in the SEC, it just means more. Sure. But the Big Ten, not only in college football, not only in college football is the Big Ten all about that life, it's also for a women's college basketball as well. Okay. I'm just saying. I am just saying. The Big Ten needs a phrase like it just means more. We need something for the Big Ten because y'all don't be talking about the Big Ten like that. They're good. Okay. Anyway, let's get to the unrestricted free agents and some of the moves that have been made so far. Now this tracker is not 100% up to date, but it's pretty much up to date. I'll let you all know like what changes happened. Okay, so we have Badian who signed with the Minnesota Lynx. We have Morgan Birch, who is still question mark. We'll see what she does. She was with the Dallas Wings. We'll see ultimately where she decides to go. Monique Billings is currently with the Golden State Valkyries, has not signed as of yet. Dewana Bonner was with the Connecticut Sun last year. She just signed as a free agent to the Indiana Fever, so that is some news that was made earlier, but has not shown up on the tracker just yet, but it probably will be here very, very soon, probably tomorrow they'll update that. We see Jakia Brown-Turner, who is still question mark in terms of where she will go. She was with the Washington Mystics last year. We got Kennedy Burke, who has re-signed with the New York Liberty. Emma Cannon was with the Las Vegas Aces, question mark on exactly where she will go, though I feel like I may have saw something earlier about Emma Cannon. Maybe I just thought I did. Yeah, I don't see anything real quick. I thought I saw something about Emma, but yeah, maybe that was a mistake. All right. Anyway. Oh, actually, here we go. The Sparks signed Emma Cannon earlier. All right, so that is the news. Emma Cannon right now is on the list as unsigned, but she has signed with the LA Sparks. Annalie Maley signed with the LA Sparks as well. If y'all don't remember, Maley was for a hot second with the Chicago Sky. All right, Kennedy Carter is still a huge question mark in terms of where she will go. She's a player who was with the Chicago Sky. As we all know, last year, the Chicago Sky decided not to have her return to the team, and so we'll see. We'll ultimately see where she decides to go. Jessica Carter, question mark on her, where she'll go next year. Tina Charles, we just talked about that. She was with the Atlanta Dream last year, is returning back to where it started with the Connecticut Sun. Alicia Clark, question marks about her. Sydney Colson, same thing. Crystal Dangerfield, no word as of yet. Kayla Davis, question mark about her. Elena Deladon, we have no idea if Elena Deladon is even going to return to women's basketball. We don't know. She may come back. She may not. We will ultimately see. Okay? We will ultimately see what happens with Elena Deladon, where she decides to go. Diamond Shields, there has been no word as of yet on her status. She was with the Chicago Sky last year. We'll ultimately see what happens with her. Liz Dixon, nothing yet as of yet. Same for Queen Egbo. Olivia Yapopa, same thing. Deasia Fair, still a question mark. Dulcie Fankum Mendeju was with the Seattle Storm last year. Not sure what she'll do. Kaiser Gondrzik was waived by the Chicago Sky last year. She is someone who can shoot. Does she return to the Chicago Sky? Well, I mean, they got Tyler Marsh. They got a new coach in there. He is someone who heavily values shooting. So, it's a possibility. It's a possibility that we may see Kaiser Gondrzik sign for a training camp contract or something, possibly with the Chicago Sky. We have, as we all know, Brittany Griner signed with the Atlanta Dream and is going to make Atlanta, a pretty good team. Isabel Harrison, question mark about her. She was with the Chicago Sky last year. I don't know if Izzy returns. I really got some question marks on if Izzy is going to end up returning to the Chicago Sky. Alessandra, I see your comment about Liz Kitley. So Liz Kitley is with the Las Vegas Aces. As of right now, Liz Kitley's still with them, right? They have not waived Elizabeth Kitley. So, she wasn't on the team last year, but they do have the rights to her, and it's likely that she will sign her rookie deal. But yeah, she's still with the Aces. There's nothing has changed with Elizabeth Kitley as of right now, but who knows what happens in the future. All right. Tiffany Hayes, there's a question mark about her. Does she return to the Las Vegas Aces? Initially, she was indicating that, yes, she was going to return back to the Aces, but now she's sort of exploring her options. And so it's a huge question mark of who wins the Tiffany Hayes lottery. Before, it was a given that she was going to return to the Aces. Now, I don't know. I don't know if she returns. Destiny Henderson, we'll see. We'll see ultimately if she is able to make a WNBA roster or at least get signed to a training camp contract. Letitia Heidemann, we all know that she is returning back to the Minnesota Lynx. Maisha Hines-Allen, question mark about her, ultimately where she decides to go. I do think she was really good with the Minnesota Lynx. If y'all don't remember, the Minnesota Lynx actually traded for Maisha Hines-Allen mid-season last year. Maisha started the year in 2024 with the Washington Mystics, ended up getting traded to the Minnesota Lynx. I thought she played her role well. But Minnesota is a team that needs a little bit more height when it comes to post play. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Maisha does not return to the team. But if she did, that would be no problem because she did well this past year. But, I do have question marks about, like, does Cheryl Reeve just want to get taller? Does she? That is a question mark. That is a question mark for sure there. And actually, guys, I'm sorry. Update. Thank y'all so much in the chat. Yeah, Maisha did actually 4 hours ago. Now this is one of those signings that I missed. 4 hours ago, it's saying that Maisha Hines-Allen signed with the Dallas Wings, guys. There's news left and right. So my apologies. Thank y'all so much in the chat for updating me on that. Thank you so much, Timeout. I believe you were the first person who commented that. She is with the Dallas Wings, Maisha Hines-Allen. Joyner Holmes, still question mark. Natasha Howard, we know that she came from the Dallas Wings, now is with the Indiana Fever. Brianna Jones is now with the Atlanta Dream. Azina Kalu, question mark on where she will go. Lee Mung, same thing. Tiffany Mitchell, Estudu Fall, question marks. Kia Nurse is headed to the Chicago Sky. We see Nneka Ogwumike has agreed to return back to the Seattle Storm. And then we have a couple more people. Charisma Osborne, Cheyenne Parker-Tyus. Still a big question mark about Cheyenne. Where does Cheyenne go? I think the Las Vegas Aces, but we'll see. We will see. Ariel Powers, Dee Richards, Mercedes Russell. Still some more question marks on that front. But yeah, man. This is some updates. We got Odyssey Sims agreed to return to the LA Sparks. Courtney Vandersloot has left the New York Liberty and has joined the Chicago Sky. Shori Rocca-Kimbrough has signed with the Atlanta Dream. And then for our restricted free agents, Dejanay Carrington is with the Dallas Wings. Michaela Onyenwere is back with the Chicago Sky. Eric McDonald, Timmy Fagbenle, and Dana Evans is still ultimately question marks on where they will end up. All right, guys, and here is the WNBA transaction news website where you can see today lots of activity happened. Natasha Howard with the Fever, Satu with the Dallas Wings, Alyssa Thomas with the Alyssa Thomas signed the core contract, but ended up getting traded. Though that hasn't shown, I don't think that's shown up just yet. But anyway, Joyner Holmes signed a training camp contract with the Dallas Wings. Kayla Charles, same thing. Louisa, I don't even know how to pronounce that last name. Geisel-Lorder or signed a training camp contract with the Wings. Same thing for Maisha Hines-Allen. Emma Cannon and Annalie Maley signed with the LA Sparks on a training camp contract. Tina Charles signed with the Connecticut Sun. Sammy Whitcomb is back with the Phoenix Mercury. Sevgi Uzun, same thing. Sevgi, Satu, Kalani Brown, and Alyssa Thomas are all now on the Phoenix Mercury. And yeah, there's so much news that happened today. Literally 25 things happened today. Well, became official today. Because yesterday was when players were starting to actually sign stuff. So, Mary says WNBA teams will look different for the 2025 season. I agree, completely agree. College B-ball, thank you so much for the super chat. Says off topic, but what's your reaction to Angel being ejected from the last game? 1, it's unrivaled. 2, since when does a wave off warrant that call? Well, I mean, Angel did a wave off for the Chicago Sky this past year, and she got ejected from that game. No, she got a tech and ejected, and so the WNBA ended up reviewing that and rescinding that. She got like 2 back-to-back techs and then got tossed. All I can say is these refs are soft. That's all I got to say. Here's the thing. At some point, we have to be okay with passion. I don't have an issue with players waving off refs. I know that refs, they're human, right? They have egos, right? I get that. But at the same time, suck it up, Buttercup. Just because someone waves you off, who cares? Who cares? Like I don't. I think it's stupid. I really do. I really do think it's stupid that the refs insert themselves. And Angel is actually playing really well. She's playing really well before she got ejected. Had like 15 rebounds, like was scoring some points and whatnot. And they lucked out, and Team Rose still won, but still, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like, can we just stop being can we stop being soft refs, please? I was thinking like, hey, these refs on Rival are gonna be a little bit better, but still with these soft calls, man, I just can't. Like, let the players show some emotion. I am not saying that the players should be allowed to sort of go super overboard, right? But just a wave off, like, dude, like, so what? I don't think it's a big deal at all. But yeah, I think it's stupid. Like, can we stop refs? Stop making yourselves the center of attention, please. Please. Will says, yeah, she was finally heating up, then boom, yeah. Boom, you're ejected. Bye-bye. And it's like, come on, man. Like, yeah. Slot says, do you have game, Quita? I mean, I used to. I used to be a good basketball player. I haven't played basketball in forever. I haven't actually played basketball in forever. I, watch it all the time. I talk about it all the time, but I haven't played in forever. So I probably don't have game anymore. I probably don't. I probably don't. I says, I just got here. Did Gabby Williams sign with anyone? She got cored by the Seattle Storm. She hasn't signed that core agreement just yet, but we'll ultimately see what happens. All right. Chris says, is there any world where either Kennedy, Carter, or the Fever would consider each other? Seems like Kennedy has been making an effort in China. Here's the thing. Here is the thing. I don't understand the whole Kennedy to Indiana thing. Like, why? I don't think it makes a lot of sense. The reason why is because Kennedy Carter is a player who works best with the ball in her hands. Yes, she is someone who can score, but Kennedy Carter is not a shooter. She's a scorer. And I think there's a big difference. There's a big difference between shooters and scorers. Shooters, all you gotta do is give them the ball for 2 seconds, and they'll knock it in. And Kennedy can do that, but she works her best when she has the ball in her hands and she can size up the defense and decide what she wants to do. Does she want to drive to the basket and get a layup? Does she want to drive in a little bit, get a mid-range jumper? Does she want to kind of lull you to sleep, do a three-point shot? Like, she is someone who can score the basket. However, she needs the ball in her hands to make stuff happen. Going to the Indiana Fever would not work. It would be a disaster. Not because there would be an issue with her and the players. That's not why. It would be a disaster because Caitlin Clark will generally have the ball for the Indiana Fever, right? And everybody else needs to be in a position where they are really, really good at just catching and shooting. Catching, maybe making one dribble, shoot, right? Kennedy Carter, she is a shooting guard. She operates in a lot of ways like a point guard. She says, she's she's kind of like a point guard. Um, I have seen that, last year she did a good job facilitating. She did. But she really is a player that does need the ball for a lot of the game in order to be effective. And that just wouldn't work for the Indiana Fever. It wouldn't. It would not work. And because of that, no. Let's not do that. Again, not because I think Kennedy will have any issue with the Indiana Fever. It's just that I don't think that would set her up for success. I think it would leave her and the rest of the team frustrated because Kennedy would not be operating in her most optimum state if she only touches the ball right when she needs to shoot, right? So that's what I have to say about that. I think Kennedy could do well going to like a maybe Golden State Valkyries. They don't have that much in terms of a point guard or whatever, and so she could possibly do that. I could also see her playing with Tasha and them in Connecticut. I could see that as well. But ultimately, we'll see what Kennedy Carter decides to do, or she could just take the season off. Because here's the thing: Kennedy Carter is making a boatload of money in China. She is making a boatload of money, so she could just rest during the WNBA season and just play in China. So who knows? Who knows? Y'all, Julio says Luka for AD is crazy. Yeah, this is a women's basketball stream. This is a women's basketball channel. However, that trade was ridiculous. that trade, I could not believe it. I couldn't believe it at all. I could not believe it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Luka Doncic getting traded from the Dallas Mavericks was wild. Wild, I tell you, wild. In that trade, we saw Luka Doncic, Max Kleber, and Markieff Morris get traded to the LA Lakers. And in return, Dallas got Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and the Lakers' first round pick in 2029. So yeah, that was crazy. That was absolutely positively crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, let's get back to actually what we're talking about here. Now, I do want to talk about somebody who a lot of people have talked about. I kind of talked about it briefly at the top, but I want to hammer the point home real quick, and it is in relation to Erica Wheeler. I heard people talking about I didn't hear people. I saw people writing about Erica Wheeler and saying like, "Hey, why did the Indiana Fever waive Grace Berger and Erica Wheeler still on the roster?" Erica Wheeler is not on the roster for the Indiana Fever. Erica Wheeler is a unrestricted free agent, which means she can go anywhere. That means she can go anywhere. She can return to the Indiana Fever. She cannot. We don't know. Ultimately, we are not sure what will happen with Erica Wheeler. But here's the thing. I do think that if she does end up returning back to the Indiana Fever, I do think that her, salary is going to be significantly lower. Very, very significantly lower. Last year, she was one of the highest paid players in the W. I do see her possibly being back in the league next year because she can be a pretty decent backup. She could be a pretty decent backup guard for a team. So, does she return to the Indiana Fever? Possibly for significantly less amount of money. I don't know if it's totally likely, though, because the way that this Indiana Fever team is stacking up, I don't know if they totally have space for her. Because the reason why is because Christy Wallace is on a guaranteed deal for 2025. So the Indiana Fever cannot waive Christy Wallace. Well, if they waive Christy Wallace, they're going to have to pay her salary, and they're not doing that. Okay, so that's something that you all should keep in mind is that Victoria Saxon, her contract is unprotected. It's unprotected, so I wouldn't be surprised if she gets waived. Grace Berger, her contract was unprotected. That's why she got waived. But Christy Wallace, she is on a protected rookie scale deal right now for 2025. They're not going to just part ways with that money. Because of that, I do think it's a significant possibility that we won't see Erica Wheeler return to the Indiana Fever. That does not mean that she will not be in the WNBA next year. She is someone who, in some ways, is like a really good culture fit for a team. And I feel like she kind of fit that role this past year for the Indiana Fever. Like, she was like that culture fit. She was like that vet who was there to encourage you. Yeah, she played, but like, even when she wasn't getting that many minutes, she was still on the bench. She was engaging with the team and whatnot, and trying to get everybody all set to go. So I do think that she is a good culture fit in a similar way. In a similar but not similar way to like a Sydney Colson, like somebody who does not play that often, but is someone who is a really, really good locker room fit, really good culture fit, and someone who helps to produce the best out of her teammates. And I do think that Erica Wheeler kind of is in that zone. So I do anticipate her being on a team next year. It's just that I don't know if I don't know if it's with the Indiana Fever. I don't know if it's with Indiana Fever. So. Chris, the Indiana Fever did not waive Erica Wheeler. Erica Wheeler is a unrestricted free agent. So the Indiana Fever have no rights to Erica Wheeler. They did not waive her. They did indeed waive Grace Berger. But yeah, there's still some question marks. If y'all are curious about Katie Lou Samuelson, she is on a protected veteran deal right now, so she will not be waived. If she does get waived, they're going to be at $180,000. So they're not waiving her. She's going to be on the team next year unless they get her off of the team via a trade. I don't think a trade happens with Katie Lou Samuelson. So I think you can kind of put it in the bank that she will be on this roster. So next year for the Indiana Fever, you got Kelsey Mitchell, you got Katie Lou Samuelson, you have Damaris Dantas, who is also on a protected deal. We have Lexi Hull, protected deal. Aaliyah Boston, Christy Wallace, protected deal. Caitlin Clark. We also have the new players on the team, Dewana Bonner, and we have Sophie Cunningham, as well as Natasha, or not Natasha. Oh my goodness, I totally just blanked on the name. They also just added. Oh my goodness, isn't it terrible sometimes where you're talking and then you completely have a mind blank and you're like, wait, what was I trying to say? Yeah, Natasha Howard. There we go, Natasha Howard. So those are the players who are on, and Victoria Saxon. Those are the players who are currently on the Indiana Fever as of right now. Again, I do anticipate Victoria Saxon to not be on the final roster. But ultimately, we'll see what happens from here. Now, guys, that is the news. Just wanted to let you all know what happened. Yeah, man. That's women's basketball in a nutshell right now. Again, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Guys, Chris, no. Victoria Saxon's contract is not protected. Not protected. Because she is on a regular rookie deal. Now, for Lexi Hull and Christy Wallace, they are both in the 4th year of their rookie deal. So here's the thing in the WNBA. You have rookies have a basically a 4-year, well, really a 3-year deal with a 4th year optional. So a player gets drafted in the WNBA. They then play 3 seasons with their team, and their team has to decide whether or not to pick up that 4th year option. That's what it's called, a 4th year option. For the Indiana Fever, they decided to pick up that option for both Lexi Hull and Christy Wallace. And so that 4th year is guaranteed. It is guaranteed. Now, for Aaliyah Boston, her contract is not guaranteed. For Caitlin Clark, her contract is not guaranteed. For Victoria Saxton, her contract is not guaranteed. Not because of anything other than the fact that they are rookies still in their first 3 years of playing in the WNBA. And those contracts are not guaranteed. Now, of course, and Aaliyah ain't going nowhere. Caitlin ain't going nowhere. So it's, but technically it is a unprotected deal. So that's why they were able to waive Grace Berger, because she's still on her normal rookie deal, and she was unprotected. Same thing for Victoria Saxton if they decide to waive her. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Thank DW says Erica Wheeler is expensive, right? ? Well, I mean, they paid her a lot of money last year. She was one of the highest paid players in the WNBA last year, but that's because of the deal that they gave her when they first signed her, a couple years ago. Erica Wheeler can sign for the vet minimum. Or she could sign for whatever a team wants to give her. So, I don't anticipate her getting over $200K, which is what she got last year. I don't anticipate that happening at all. So maybe it's a vet minimum. Maybe it's a little bit more. Maybe it's a little bit more than the vet minimum. But ultimately, we'll see. We will see. If y'all are curious, in the WNBA for 2025, the vet minimum is $78K. That is the minimum for 2025 is $78K. All right, so hopefully that is helpful for you guys. But I do thank y'all so much for rocking with me. We got a new channel member. Shout out. We got a new channel member. I want to shout out to Chris. Shout out to Chris for joining the channel. I really do appreciate you. Salute to you, Chris, for rocking out with us. I really do appreciate your support. But yeah, guys, that is the news. That is the news. This is CBS Sports. So if you Google CBS WNBA tracker, you can find this. All right, this is on CBS Sports website. Thank you for the question. I'm sure other people were probably curious as well. So your question has helped everyone else. So appreciate you. All right, let's see any questions. MP says, for fun, is Beyonce winning AOTY? Album of the year? Maybe? Is that what that means? Album of the year? If that is indeed what it means, I don't know. I have not listened to a single song from Beyonce willingly in years. Now, of course, if I go places and they play Beyonce, sure, I don't have a choice. But I have not willingly listened to her songs. I have no idea what her latest album is or what songs are on it. I don't know. I don't even know who's even eligible for album of the year. I have no idea. Because I don't actually really listen to secular music, so I have no idea. But yeah. Oh, the random Sam's Club ad just popped up. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. If y'all could, make sure to hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel, guys. I will be back for more commentary and news in the future. Guys, we have done, is this our third live stream of the day? This is the third live stream of the day, which is wild. Third live stream. I put out two, in my opinion, really, really quality videos. One yesterday and one today, both around Caitlin and A'ja Wilson and their jersey retirements. So I it's been a wild 24 hours of just trying to get a whole bunch of content in. So I really do appreciate you. I really, really, really do appreciate you for your support and your engagement. It truly, truly, truly means a lot. It truly means a lot. Alessandra says, Quita, do you have coworkers that watch the WNBA? Not really. I do have some are watching a lot more. I think in a lot of reasons because I've annoyed them into watching and paying attention. They'll casually know what's going on with the Chicago Sky because it's Chicago and they'll hear it on the radio or whatever. But like for the most part, no. One of my coworkers does have season tickets for the Chicago Sky, which I think is pretty awesome. Like really, really, really awesome. I think she kind of got into the Sky. I think when we won the championship in 2021. But yeah, for the most part, no. My coworkers are not interested. Okay. MP says, I can talk gospel. What gospel music do you like? Well, I am a big fan of CHH, Christian hip hop. Jackie Hill Perry had a new album. Oh, fire album. Psalms 88, maybe my favorite song on that album. There is, of course, Lecrae always doing stuff. Anike, I enjoy listening to her as well. There's this lady, Linnell Grant. Linnell Grant is fire. Like, dude, she be putting out some really good music. Really, really good music. She also just has some recently new music come out. I think she's really awesome. I enjoy listening to I enjoy listening to just like various playlists, and then it's just whoever shows up on it is pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know, and I love like old school gospel. So like a lot of old school gospel, like the Clark sisters, Shirley Caesar, Donald Lawrence. So he's not old. That type of stuff. That's my vibe. But yeah, I'm kind of all over the place in terms of what I listen to. I enjoy gospel music. I enjoy music that elevates and tells the reality of the life that we live and ultimately the whole purpose of our life. So that is what I enjoy listening to. And y'all should absolutely listen to Linnell Grant. She's fire. Like Nell is cool. Anyway, guys. I don't know. I just like to be random. So when y'all ask me random questions, I will answer them randomly. But anyway, I appreciate y'all so much for rocking with me. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. And I will see y'all in the next one. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.